See the title, man. We're gonna talk about this today. It's been a lot of Commanders talk because that season hasn't really gone how everybody thought it would go at the beginning of the year. A lot of people had them penciled in as Super Bowl contenders, but they had a lot, plethora of injuries. And right now, that's just not the reality. Anything can happen, but without your star quarterback in there, it's gonna be difficult, to do anything. In my opinion, I think we all can agree to that. But Kurt Warner, man, he put out a video. I don't know if you watched it. I watched it because I wanted to see what he was talking about. I probably watched like 5 minutes of it, I'll be honest. And he was pretty much showing, some passes where Jayden Daniels wasn't pulling the trigger on. And he mentioned the word regress. I'm sure you probably seen the post. And he showed, he made a comparison to last year. He said last year he was making all these passes, he was making these throws, but this year seems to be a little off, a little uncomfortable. And everybody jumped out the window with that, said he regressed. He's not the same quarterback as last year. We crowned him too early. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, one, Kurt Warner's an NFL quarterback, and what I don't like is when former NFL players start making opinions on players, and then the fan base starts going crazy and saying they don't know what they're talking about, or they're hating, or they're this or they're that. Yo, look, listen, this dude played on a level that I know personally I've dreamed my whole life to get into, playing in the NFL, right? He has gotten to that mountaintop no matter what he did in his career. I think he won 2 Super Bowls or won one, got to a few. Kurt Warner's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He knows what he's talking about, right? So I don't jump out the gym if he says something regressed or whatever the case may be. But then you look at the sample size. Look at the sample. We are how many weeks in? 10 weeks in? This kid has played 4 games. 4 games. I didn't watch the tape, but correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, when he showed the tape of last year, who was he throwing to?
Right.
He was throwing to receivers he had confidence in. He was throwing to receivers he had continuity with. He was throwing to receivers he knew were going to be in the spot, and he trusted that. When you look at the throws that he's missing this year, and you look at the receivers that he's throwing to, kid ain't got no trust in him. Kid ain't the kid ain't got no time on task with him. Has he regressed? If you look at the sample size, I'm sure some of the throws that he made last year, he's not making this year. Of course, I've seen it, but that like what I'm trying. Let me see how I'm going to word this, because of course he's regressed. When you look at his time on task, when you look at the amount he's been on the field and the time he's had with his receivers, of course he's not trusting what he's seeing. But how many times have we heard this with our star quarterbacks over and over again? I heard the same shit about Lamar. I heard the same shit about Jalen Hurts. I heard the same shit about who's my boy out in Buffalo. It's just like we are in such this telephone booth of society where it has to be right now. Oh, he sucks, or he's this right now. This means he's going to be this for the rest of his career. And they're so quick to want to crown this dude as a sophomore slump. What does that mean? I'm here to ask, like, okay, if he isn't doing as good in his second year that he did in his first year, does this mean 3, 4, and 5 years are going to be ass? This means that this dude is destined to be ass, or this means this dude has taken a step back based off of circumstances this year? I think that we get into when we start hearing these things, we start hearing talk, we think that, okay, this is what it's going to be for the rest of his career. Oh, okay, he's regressed, so now this is the quarterback he's going to be for the rest of his career. Yeah, the Commanders made a mistake in not drafting Drake May or not drafting J.J. McCarthy, because look at what this kid is doing now. I think it's just all bullshit. I think that we just live in a society where we hear way too many people's opinions. I really do. Like, is he playing the same way he played last year? No, I don't expect him to. When you had a knee injury, a hamstring injury, when you have a dislocated elbow, when you're throwing the wide receivers like Chris fucking Moore and Traylon Burks and Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey. Do anybody know who these receivers are? Now, granted, Luke McCaffrey and Jalen Lane are people that we drafted who are developing, and Luke McCaffrey's starting to get better. But who are these receivers, bro? I think it's a combination of a lot. At the end of the day, do I agree with Kurt Warner? Yes, but do I believe that there should have been some context put to that? Hell yeah. But we just threw it out there and let people just do what we wanted with it. So, did he regress? Yeah, of course he did. But I'll put context to that too.
Yeah, definitely. And then if he was out there throwing to Debo, Terry, it'd be a different story. I think another part of it is, teams just being able to defend him better, and adjusting, to the scheme. Maybe not him, but the scheme. It don't look like and I'm no expert on plays, but it don't look like it. It looks like pretty much a lot of the same stuff as last year. You know what I'm saying? The difference is the receiving core. You know, you don't have nobody that's stretching the field. You know what I'm saying? And it looks like from the film or whatever, and we seen it. I mean, they were saying the same thing about Jalen Hurts earlier this year. He just wouldn't throw the ball. That has a lot to do with comfortability, schemes. Jalen Hurts' scheme was a little bit different, but you know, I think if Jayden Daniels was able to stay healthy and get his weapons back, it'd have been able to improve, you know, over the year. But it happens. I mean, that's why, you know, when you such a flash in the pan like he was last year, anything less than that, that's the top of the mountain. It's hard to stay at the top of the mountain. But what the team is going to have to do, Washington and himself, is go back to the drawing board. You know, put some weapons, because we was talking about him in college, the guys he was throwing to. Like, these guys is all world. Same thing with Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, CeeDee Lamb. Like, these motherfuckers is getting open. They still getting open now. Mm-hmm. He had Jamar Chase and all those other guys he had. You know what I'm saying?
He ain't played with Jamar, but he played with fucking Malik and Brian Thomas Jr. Studs, still studs.
Right, still studs. Yeah. Studs. You know what I mean? The other cat, that passed away as well.
Yeah, yep.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, it's a little context to that. You know, but I never see breakdowns of these white quarterbacks, man. Like, even earlier in the year, we was waiting to see a breakdown of Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. He was missing all them passes. We was waiting to see a breakdown of Josh Allen. I never seen it. Mm-hmm. I only see black quarterback. Now, maybe they're out there, but every time I'm on Twitter, what Jalen Hurts is, what he's not doing. And I knew it would be a matter of time before they turned on Jayden Daniels. Now he's injury prone. Mm-hmm. That's what the media in Washington and all over say now. He can't stay on the field, and RG3 2.0, and it's only a matter of time. You're only gonna be the darling for so long. And it's like once they get one thing, it's like the domino. It all comes down to everybody jumping in on him. Oh, no, he can't do that. I'm like, wow, it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I ain't feed into that bullshit though. And one thing that I love about the kid, and this is why I laugh at when they compare this dude to RG3's punk ass, is he knows all this. He knew this last year. Hey, listen, all of this is great this year, but let me have a bad season, they'll be turning on me. He said all of this shit. So this kid knows exactly what needs to be done. He knows that he's only as good as the last piece of tape he put out. He knows he's only being judged on what he put out against Seattle. He knows he's only being judged on the injuries he sustained this year. The kid is sustaining some injuries. Yeah, we have to chill on that. Yeah, we have to make sure that we have him better protected. We have plays that are getting the ball out of his hand faster. But if he had people to throw to, if he had an Austin Eckler back there to pass protect, to be out there as a seasoned veteran. I'm not saying Austin Eckler is a world beater, but he was a seasoned veteran who still had a couple miles left, who knew what to do in a tight squeeze, who Jayden trusted. You know what I'm saying? When you have Terry, when you have Noah, and when you could put Debo in his proper place, and you have people out there you can trust, you're talking about he's throwing a practice squad receivers. And he is what it is. It's the cards we were dealt. We're struggling. It is what it is. There's no excuse. But when you don't put context to that and you just say he regressed and just throw that out into the atmosphere and let people do what they will with it, you have fucking racist motherfuckers like the Junkies or these people that really just wanted to see their great white hope and Drake May sit there and be the quarterback for their team. Man, miss me with that shit. And it is funny. It's just like, and I hate to even bring up the black and white quarterback, but it just is what it is, man. It sucks. What it is. They do it to Lamar. They and I'm not even gonna put Josh Allen in it. They did it to Lamar. They did it to Jalen. They did it to Jordan Love. When Jordan Love first came out his third year and he was playing, he was doing his thing, you seen flash like, yo, this dude can ball. But he made a mistake here, a mistake there. He didn't see the field. Oh, now he's seeing ghosts. Oh, now he doesn't read the field properly. Oh, this or that. And now the dude is set up with a team that could potentially go to the Super Bowl. So it's just like, and it's funny that all the quarterbacks that they criticized are all have their team set up to win the Super Bowl. Jalen, Lamar, Jordan. Jayden's going to be there. I have no doubt in my mind that this kid will get it together, that this team will insulate him with the right pieces, and we will be okay. They tried to do it with C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud had a hell of a year last year. No, it wasn't the flashiest that it was his first year. No, it didn't surprise as many people because he was a rookie doing it, but he got his team to the divisional round, and they should have beat KC. He had a great year, but they call it a sophomore slump. So I'm not surprised at the criticism. Neither is he. I'm glad that he has the head on his shoulders that he has. I think we're going to be fine, man. This year, it went to shit. It went to shit quick. You know what I mean? Injuries, contract disputes, it just didn't line up the way it did last year, and it is what it is. And people try to find reason, but put context toward those reasons. And that's what I didn't like about Kurt. He just said it, threw it out there, and now he's backing up like, whoa, wait, what? I didn't say that he wasn't great. I didn't say that he was. No, Nick, yes, you did. You tried to imply that. And then now all of a sudden that people's in your ass. Now you want to kind of backtrack and say, well, no, I think he's phenomenal. He's not doing what he did last year. Yeah, motherfucker, why? When you played for the Rams and you had Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt and Isaac Keem and Ricky Prohl and all these people, did you look the same when you were thrown to them Giants receivers, nigga? Hell no. Right. It's context, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and we have to bring up the racial aspect because it's there. You're not really going to hear any other platforms that's going to really bring that up.
Yeah,
because they have different viewership, and so do we. But it's like it has to be on the table because there was a whole world at one point in time. They ain't want black quarterbacks. They ain't want black players. They thought black was too stupid. They wasn't smart enough to even be quarterback or lead a team.
Yep.
So that's still. We think that ideology has went anywhere? No, it's still very prevalent, and I think that they're having a hard time acknowledging it and that half of the team now are led by black quarterbacks. At least it was in the beginning of the year. And their stereotypical statue quarterback is kind of dying off with your Jared Goffs, dying off with your Staffords, and your Sam Darnold. Even though they're still great quarterbacks in their regard, those type of quarterbacks, in another 5 to 10 years won't even be around anymore once those guys retire. It's going to be guys, dual threat guys that can run and make something happen. I'm way more scared of a guy that can make something happen rather than a statue. I don't care how good his arm is.